Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions, along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC Vegas 89 Ribas versus Namajunas. First things first, please hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new, or if you just haven't yet. Turn on the notifications so you know when my videos pop up. I'm a day late this time. I went to the Blackhawks game last night, and they won. It was cool. So everything's cool, but that's why I'm late. So it's always good to have those notifications on. Leave some comments below on your favorite fights this week, if you have any, how you did last week. Let everyone know that Kennedy and Jeku is a bum, all that good stuff. And check out the Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. I put my early bets out there. I have 3 at the moment. I also do my betting cheat sheets, my time prop parlay cheat sheet, all that stuff. I'm also doing an NCAA bracket challenge for my Patreon members, free or core. It's if you win, you get some money. So check it out. It's all for free. If you are a core member, you might get a little bit of an extra perk if you win. So definitely check it out. Everything is free, or support me a little bit if you want. But yeah, last weekend, which was 2 days ago, I feel like it's been years, was UFC Vegas 89, and I'm going to get right to that real quick. Let's jump into this real quick. First fight of the night was Angeliger versus Gregorio. Very good fight for Angeliger. Lost the first round, but then he came back in the second and third and won it. Pretty much how a lot of people thought. So I thought that too. I was this freaking close to betting him, and I didn't. I saw the line go down, so it scared me off a bit. So good win from Angeliger. Got it done. Moises versus Ramirez. Moises just outkicked Ramirez for 2 rounds, and then he finally got done in the third. So good win from him. That was pretty much. I didn't see it going down like that, but I knew he was going to win probably by a finish. Amorim versus McKenna. Just bad fight IQ from McKenna again. I picked her. I didn't have a bet on her or anything, but that's one thing you got to worry about with McKenna. Flashes of Elise Reed right there. Going down on the mat early with Amorim. That's just not good. Very good fight here. Silva versus Holobaugh. Silva got it done by split. I could have went either way. I can see arguments for both sides, but I think what the judges liked was Silva rocked Holobaugh early in the first and almost had him out of there. But I thought Holobaugh may have stole that round, but very close fight. No robberies or anything, but fun. Philho versus Osborne. Philho did what a lot of people thought as well. Get Osborne to the mat and submit him. Philho was the best grappler O'Day's ever fought. So, and it showed. First round's rear naked choke. Chelsea Chandler versus Nunes. Kind of a fun, sloppy fight. I did think Chandler won. She got the takedowns and pretty much dominated on the mat. But on the feet, she was getting touched up by Nunes. So I'll give it to Chandler here. Had her as a pick as well. No bet. I should have bet her though, but I'm not betting that fight. Mike Davis versus Natan Levy. Davis is a beast. It was clear when he was minus 500. He showed it, got it done. Second round submission. That's all you need to know. Mearshart versus Barberena. Same thing here. Once GM3 got this fight to the mat, it was pretty much going to be game over. He was bigger than Brian and way better on the mat. Brian had no chance. So good win from GM3. Macy versus Paney, a little run of submissions here. Macy got it done again, got the fight to the mat. It took her a little bit because she had to reverse a couple things, but she got it done and she got the rear naked choke. Good win from her. Thought she was going to win too. And here is where the controversy of the night. Now I can only laugh about it. Christian Rodriguez gets it done by split decision. I'm going to have to disagree 190% on this one. I thought Dalgarian clearly won 10-8 round 1. I thought he did way more than Christian did in round 2. The only thing Christian did was maybe land 1 or 2 more strikes in it, and they weren't even damaging. He didn't knock him over or knock him down. He didn't even cut him up. And he was literally taken down 4 times and controlled for 4 minutes and 11 seconds of the second round. So 2 judges thought Christian did enough there. So it is what it is. Dalgarian did slow down in the third, obviously, but he got 10-8 too. It all came down to the second round. And I guess 4 minutes of control time and a couple extra strikes get you that round with no crazy amount of damage difference. So whatever. OSP versus Kennedy. Kennedy shit the bed. No, I have no idea why. That fight was shades of Trey Ogden versus Daniel Zellhuber, where you're like, Zellhuber, what are you doing, dude? You're way better. Throw some freaking strikes. Kennedy didn't do crap, and he got rocked and knocked down in the third by OSP, who's 47 years old probably in UFC years. So yeah, that sucked for a lot of people and me. Brian Battle versus Angelusa. Brian Battle was owning that fight until the eye poke. And like I said, there's a lot of that bad vibes in the main. These last three fights really ruined the night for me. Even betting, like watching experience, like I did not have fun. I'll be honest. And then I vaguely watched this fight. Tybura won by submission. Tai Tuivasa had no chance once the fight got to the mat. So good win from Tybura there. I don't know about Ty anymore. I think he may be Dunzo Ficenzo, but maybe he's a good gatekeeper in the lowest level heavyweight division here, when the top 8 guys are worth anything. But hey, that's just me. But that's it for that one. For my picks, I ended up going 7-5-1 because of the no contest. My bets, I had 6. I lost 4 of them. I won 2. So I had Bulgarian, should have won that one, but it is what it is. Kennedy ruined this one. Kennedy ruined that one. And the Kennedy fight ruined that one because I don't know how that fight went the distance, because I thought somebody was going to get knocked out or something, but nope, didn't happen. But the wins I did, I had Davis and Macy parlay, and they had the over 1.5 and the under 2.5 in this one too. So those hit. Ended up losing about a little over 4 units. So I'll get it back this week. I'm attacking some spots. I'm getting a little bit more serious with this one. Not to say that I'm not, but I think I'm going to do well this fight card coming up here. So let's get right to it. UFC Vegas 89 is 13 fights. I don't know if they're going to add one more. I believe it was the Julia and Stephanie fight got recently canceled. So I don't know if they're going to find somebody for Julia or not, but we'll see. But first fight, it's going to be Mohammed Usman versus Mick Parkin. And Usman, super strong guy. He's got okay striking. He does have power in his hands, obviously. He throws big shots, usually one at a time. He's not going to do any combos or anything. He does have pretty good takedowns, but they're more so like he muscles his opponents down because he's freaking strong. And he can lay and pray, basically, and do some good ground and pound if he gets on top. But that's him in a nutshell. Mick Parkin, he's taking this fight on short notice. He is well-rounded for a heavyweight. He has pretty good takedowns, pretty good grappling and submissions, good on the feet, good volume. I mean, he's not the most technical strikers, but he hasn't really fought the greatest competition either. But, you know, Machado is literally a light heavyweight, and Jamal Pogues is literally a light heavyweight, and Mohammed Usman may even be a light heavyweight. So he's fighting these guys that are a little bit on the lower side or smaller side of the heavyweight division, if you want to say. But I think this is going to be a closer fight than some people think. Oh man, this is a tough one to start the night off, but I just have a weird feeling that Usman's going to get this one done. So I'm going to go with Usman. I think he can get the well-timed takedowns. I think he can get some good ground and pound going. And not to say Mick Parkin's bad on the mat or anything or off his back, but as the fight goes on, I do favor Usman a little bit more. He just seems to like push through the tiredness more. And Mick Parkin wasn't looking all that great against Machado. I will say that. So close fight. Don't blame anybody picking Mick here, but the short notice too kind of worries me, and we'll see what happens. So give me Usman to win. I'm going to say by decision. I think this fight goes over. I'm going to be looking at the overs in this fight. I think both these guys will survive at least 1.5 rounds, so we'll see what that is when it comes out. Next one's going to be Igor Severino versus Andre Lima, and Igor, where's he at? Making his UFC debut, which a lot of people are this fight, and also a lot of people are taking this card. I'm sorry, and then a lot of people are taking fights on short notice too. So you'll be hearing a lot of that. He's a good striker. He's got good power in his hands. He could be a little wild and crazy at times with his strikes. He can wrestle. He's got good jiu-jitsu, good grappling, and he's got pretty good cardio. He does slow down a little bit in some of his fights if they go late, and depending on how aggressive he is, but he's 20 years old. Um, so we'll see what happens here. But for Lima, though, also making his UFC debut, is a very good striker with good combinations, good takedown defense. He does have a good get up game if he is taken down. He's not really a wrestler or grappler. He's more so a striker. He wants to keep it on the feet, but like he's not a fish out of water. He knows how to get up and submission defense, but he's just not going to offensive grapple, if you want to say. So we got basically, I would say Igor's more so a grappler. So grappler versus striker here. I'm going to go with Lima here. He's a little bit older. I think he's had a little bit more experience with just in fighting in general. I know he's had some kickboxing fights, if I remember correctly. Some Muay Thai fights, some kickboxing fights too. So he has fought a lot of fights, but then there's not MMA. That's why it's a 7-0 record. So he has a lot of kickboxing background, and I like that. I think he's the way better striker. But if Igor can get some grappling going and maybe, tire Lima down a bit, maybe that'll do good for him. But I think Lima gets this one done. I'm going to say by second round knockout. Yeah, I just think he gets this one done. I mean, both these guys are making their debuts, so we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to stay away. If it was closer to a pick 'em, I may pick a side, but nah, just stay away from this one. 2 debuts, nope. Next one's going to be Montserrat Rendon versus Daria Zheleznyakova. I'm just going to say Daria. How about that? Rendon has she's got solid grappling, okay takedowns. Her striking really isn't the greatest. She kind of throws just slow 1-2s down the middle, if anything. But like I said, she's got good takedowns, and all of her wins have come by decision. So something to think about there. And Daria making her UFC debut, solid striker. She does push forward very well. She's a little aggressive at times, which can lead to some takedowns if she's not careful. She's very good in the clinch. She's got good elbows, good knees, and she's always looking for a finish on the feet. But if she is taken down, that's where her little downside is. Close fight here again. I know the line doesn't say it, but I think this will play out a lot closer than a lot of people think too. I'm gonna lean Daria. I like the striking. I think it's night and day, but it does worry me that Rendon can get those takedowns. So gonna go with Daria. I'm not very confident whatsoever, but I think if there is gonna be a finish, it's gonna be on the Daria side. But Rendon is very tough, very durable, and I think she can win this fight. Just getting those takedowns, but then Daria will definitely be landing the more damage, and probably has the most finishing upside. So gonna go with her, more dangerous, and I think she can win a decision too. So give me Daria by decision. Next one is going to be Steven Nguyen versus Jarno Errens. Get this out of here. All right. So Steven making his UFC debut. He's well-rounded. He's got good striking with good power, as we've seen in his last fight against AJ Cunningham. Doesn't say too much, though. Pretty good takedowns, good volume, good cardio. He's durable. And like I said, he's well-rounded. He can mix in the wrestling, but he does like to keep it on the feet. Errens, solid striking as well. He's got good kickboxing, likes to push forward. He's got decent power with good kicks. He's durable. Cardio's good. Takedown defense is pretty good. He's just good everywhere. I wouldn't say he's the most dangerous guy. He does have a lot of, at least recently, decisions, but he's only got 3 KOs in his career, and he's fighting guys, that aren't, UFC material, if you want to say, but he does have a lot of experience in fights too. So, yeah, this could play out a little closer too, but I'm going to go with Steven to win. I think he's more well-rounded in the MMA game, if you want to say, and Errens does have good kickboxing and striking, but I think Steven gets this one done. I think he's going to mix in some wrestling here, and I think this fight goes to decision. Both guys are pretty tough. So going to stay away, maybe look at the overs here, but I'm just going to lean Steven to get this done. I like what I saw. Let's put it that way. I like his striking. I think he's more dangerous as well. So, and he can mix in that wrestling. Next fight here, we got Miles Johns versus Cody Gibson. So Miles Johns, he is taking this fight on short notice. I believe it's probably like 3 weeks short notice or so. But he's a well-rounded guy. He's got good boxing, pretty good power in his hands too. He does have good takedowns in wrestling. He used it more so in his last fight against Argueta, but before that he was not using it. So he looked way better when he did use it. So that's the one thing with him. And I remember he just doesn't want to use his wrestling. He's a very good wrestler, but his cardio does fade a little bit as the fight goes on. I wouldn't say he death gasses, but he does slow down with his volume, especially if he's wrestling a lot, if you want to say. Gibson, he's a solid striker. He's got good power in his hands. He's got okay takedowns. He's tough. He's durable, good grappling, but he's mainly a striker. He's going to keep it on the feet if possible. He had a good scrap with Brad Katona, very close fight, and that was for the tough championship, I believe. So I'm going to go with Miles Johns here. I think just on paper, he's the better fighter, and I like how he can mix in the wrestling here. He doesn't have to go all crazy with it. He just needs to mix it up, keep Gibson guessing. And on the feet, the striking is pretty close, but Miles Johns is tough and durable too. And I just think the wrestling is going to play a part. Now, if Miles Johns doesn't use any wrestling here, then it's going to be a very close fight. But I like Miles Johns to get this done. I'm going to say this fight, Gibson is durable. So I'm going to say this fight does go to decision. And because, Gibson's never been knocked out. So I just think Miles Johns gets it done in the first couple rounds. And maybe Gibson does have a pretty good third round. But I think Johns gets it done. 29-28 decision. Next one, Ricardo Ramos versus Julian Erosa. This is going to be a fun fight for however long it lasts, but Ramos is a well-rounded guy. He's got super explosive striking with power, good spinning attacks with his elbows and all that stuff. Good takedowns, very good submissions too. He's pretty durable. He was submitted by Jourdain. He put himself in a bad situation because Jourdain does have a very good guillotine. And what happened? He got guillotined. But he was looking good in that fight until he wasn't. Let's put it that way. Erosa, well-rounded guy himself. He's got good striking, good wrestling and grappling. He throws a lot of volume, but he gets hit a ton, and that chin's looking a little dusty. He got knocked out by Padilla, who's fighting later on in the card, and he also got knocked out by Caceres, and those were pretty. Caceres was a bad knockout, but this one, you saw it wasn't even that bad of a punch, and he got knocked out. You could tell he was wobbled in days. So I got to go with Ramos here. I think he gets the knockout. I just don't trust Erosa's chin at this moment in his career. Coming off of 2 pretty bad KOs, if you want to say. And I believe he's got 7 KOs total in his career. 7. He's never lost by submission. So give me Ramos to win by knockout. I think he's the more dangerous guy here. Now, can Erosa land something good and knock Ramos out? Probably. But I trust Ramos's chin way more than Julian Erosa's. So going with Ramos, I'll say first round knockout. Next fight here is going to be Trey Ogden versus Kurt Holobaugh. This is a very interesting fight because I had to go back and forth a little bit, but Ogden, solid grappler. We saw in his last fight against Mota, he was dominating the grappling. Should have won that fight, but the ref messed up. Striking is decent. He doesn't really have the greatest power. He has 0 knockouts in his career. Takedowns are pretty good. He can, but he can be hittable on the feet too, especially against really technical strikers. And he is durable. He's never been knocked out. I believe he's only been subbed 3 times. So that's something to look here. But Holobaugh, these ads are popping up. Sorry, guys. So Holobaugh, though, solid striker with power himself. He does like to push forward. He sets a good pace, good 1-2s down the middle. His takedown defense isn't the greatest, but he is durable. He does have pretty good submissions as well. He got a submission in his last fight against Austin Hubbard. And so he is looking for the finish a lot in this fight. So good grappling, good scrambles, all that good stuff. So he's just well-rounded. His takedown defense is a little bit worrisome here. But on the feet, I like Holobaugh all day. But on the mat, it can get dicey. And if Holobaugh wants to play off his back, that could be not a good look, if you want to say, because I think Ogden's going to want to shoot for some takedowns and use that wrestling like he did in his last fight. But I'm going to go with Holobaugh to get this one done by an I'm going to say by decision, but I wouldn't be shocked if he catches Ogden with like a submission or maybe something like that, like later in the fight. But because Ogden's been submitted 3 times in his 6 losses, Holobaugh does have a pretty decent amount of submissions. He got 10 of them, so I think he can get the submission. I just don't think Ogden is dangerous enough to get Kurt out of there, to be honest. So I think Ogden's path is just wrestle and get a decision. I think Kurt can win by submission or decision. So give me Holobaugh to win. I'll say by submission. Why not? No way. I'm gonna go decision. I'm gonna go with decision. I think this will be a very fun fight, though. Main card now, we got Luis Pelio versus Fernando Padilla. So Luis making his UFC debut. Good striker that pushes forward. He's got good power. He throws a lot of volume. Good cardio. Takedown defense, though, is just okay. But he does have a pretty good get-up game. Like I said, he's durable, too. Padilla, solid striker. He likes to push forward, too. Sometimes he can be a little too aggressive. He looks a little wild and crazy. He's going to be the bigger guy here, a couple inches height. And I also believe like a 6-inch reach advantage. So it's a pretty big advantage for him there. He does stay, he doesn't keep his range well too. Doesn't really wrestle. So he's more so a striker, but he does have pretty good offensive grappling and submissions game too. So I'm going to go with Padilla to get this one done. I know a lot of people picked him against Kyle Nelson, but Kyle Nelson's a veteran, and Kyle Nelson's ruined a couple people's nights as of late anyways. And this is a UFC debut guy coming in, and I think Padilla is going to be able to get back on track. He's going to be the longer, taller guy. And I'm going to say he gets it done by a 2nd round knockout. I think he does get the knockout here. I know, like I said, I know Luis is tough, but I think Fernando can land something that just maybe Luis isn't prepared for, and he just stuns him and gets him out of there. So Padilla by 2nd round knockout. We got Billy Q versus Yusuf Zalal. So we all know who Billy Q is. Well-rounded guy with solid striking. He's a high-volume striker. Good grappling. His takedowns are a little weak. He does have to work for them if he wants to, but he's got fantastic cardio, always pushes forwards. He uses his pushes forward. He uses his cardio as a weapon, and he's durable. I know he got knocked out against Edson Barboza, but that was a perfectly timed knee. It was crazy. And he can be a little hittable at times against very technical strikers. But Yusuf Zalal taking this fight on short notice and also making his 2nd stint in his UFC career right now. So it's his 2nd debut. But he's well-rounded, solid striking, stays at range. He's not really super dangerous, even though he's got a couple knockouts in the regional scene. But I don't think he's going to be knocking out anybody here in this fight. He does have some decent wrestling. He can slow down in some of his fights a little bit, and he's already low volume, so it does worry me here a bit for him. So I'm all over Billy Q. I think the line I got at a pretty decent price. It's like 165 now, but yeah, Yusuf Zalal, like I said, taking this fight on short notice. Billy Q, you know what he's going to do. He's going to be pushing a pace, and I just don't think Zalal is going to have enough volume to win this fight. Like, he's already low volume. Billy Q is going to be getting in his face, so he's going to bring the fight to him. And I don't know if Zalal is going to be able to handle it for 3 rounds. So I like Billy Q to get the 3rd round finish or a decision. That's usually how you want to bet him. And I think he gets this one done. I know he's 35, he's getting up there, but I don't see any signs of slowing down at all. He looked great against Damon Jackson, and Jackson won the 1st round pretty easily, but then Billy came to life. So got to go with Billy Q here. I'm pretty confident he gets this one done, actually. Very fun fight for this main card. Peyton Talbott versus Cameron Saaiman. So Talbott is a high volume striker. He does have good power in his hands. A little unorthodox at times with his striking. He always pushes forward with good cardio. His takedown defense is pretty good. He does have a really good get-up game as well, but if he's on his back, he can be controlled. Maybe a very high-level wrestler. But Saaiman, well-rounded guy. He's got solid striking, good grappling. He does leave himself open to counters a lot when he's striking. His takedown defense isn't the greatest either. I don't think he has to worry about that though. His takedowns are okay. They're not super great either, but he, like I said, he does have good grappling too. So, and this is just going to be a fun fight for both guys. They're both starting their careers out. They have like 10 fights and under. I would maybe give the more polished guys probably Saaiman overall, but honestly, he's still green, and obviously Talbott's green. So I'm ever so slightly gonna go with Peyton. I think he's got that like it factor, if you want to say. I think he can turn it up a little bit more. Not to say that he's gonna out cardio Saaiman, but I think he can get something done. And so like if he's losing the fight, I think he's the guy that can come back and win the fight. I don't think Saaiman, if he's losing, he's gonna lose. I don't think he can come back and win. So I'm gonna go with Talbot. I think this fight does go to decision. Both guys are tough and durable, but again, if there is a finish, I'm gonna go with Talbot. I think I think he can get a knockout. He has some very good power in the hands, and Saaiman just leaves himself open for counters a lot when he's striking. So ever so slightly leaning Talbot. I'm not going to touch the price now. I think it's like minus 160 or more for him. So now all the values on Saaiman. I do think this is a 50-50 fight, but I just ever so slightly lean Talbot. Next one's going to be Edmund Shahbazyan versus AJ Dobson. So Edmund's been in the UFC for a while, but he's a very good striker. He's got tons of power in his hands. His takedown defense, as we know, is not good. He doesn't really have a ground game at all. He doesn't really have a get-up game either. And that's his bugaboo. Anybody that can wrestle halfway can take him down rather easily and keep him down there. And that's what you have to do to beat this guy. But he is very dangerous on the feet, though, especially early. Dobson taking this fight on short notice. He is a well-rounded guy. He's got good striking with power. He does have pretty good wrestling, good takedowns. He's durable, good cardio. He can be a little hittable on the feet, though, too. He can be a little low volume at times, if you want to say, but he did look good against Tafa in his last fight 7 months ago. I did pick AJ. I was pretty confident. And yeah, so this, to me, if AJ can survive the first round, I think he wins this fight. And that's a big if. But I also think AJ has the wrestling to take down Edmund early and keep him down and wear him down a little bit. So I'm going to go with AJ Dobson to win this fight. I just looked at how old Edmund is. He's 26 years old. Like, this guy's been in the UFC for forever, it feels like, and he's only 26. So he still has room for improvement. I just don't think I got to see the takedown defense improvement before I can pick him. Like I said, the more dangerous guy here is Edmund. I'm not going to lie. But after the first round, I think it's going to even up here. And I think AJ has a chance to win a decision or maybe even a ground and pound finish. So underdog, give me AJ Dobson to win. I'll say by decision. Maybe AJ slows down a little bit in the third because he's taking this fight on short notice. But I think the wrestling can play a big part in this fight for him. Co-main event, we got Carl Williams versus Justin Tafa. Carl Williams, let's see. He's an okay striker. He's more so a wrestler. He's using his strikes to set up his takedowns. He can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on. We've seen him if he just wrestles and wrestles and wrestles, which he's probably going to try to do here. He's not really the greatest finisher for a heavyweight. He's kind of on the smaller side at 240. And that's him in a nutshell. He's going to wrestle. Justin Tafa, you know what he is. He wants to stand and bang, but he is taking this fight on short notice. He was supposed to fight a couple weeks ago, I believe, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, and his brother took his place and lost. But and then now he's taking his brother's place because his brother was supposed to fight Carl Williams. But he is a powerful striker. He's got strong leg kicks. He definitely can take some punches. He doesn't mind staying in the pocket and taking one to give one. Crazy power, like I said. His takedown defense is pretty good. He's very tough to take down. Like, he's very bottom heavy. So he'll like sit down, Carl Williams is going to have a tough time taking him down, especially early. But if he keeps on it, he might get him down eventually. But I'm going to say the underdog wins. I think Justin Tafa can crack Carl Williams, and Justin Tafa cracks. And his last fight against Austin Lane, you saw what happened. Austin Lane was a crazy, tall, lengthy heavyweight and ex-football player. Knocked him out in the first round. So gonna go with Tafa to get done too. I don't really understand why the lines are the way they are. Maybe because of the short notice. Maybe the reason why Tafa got or pulled out of his last fight. Maybe he was injured or something. But I don't think Tafa would take this fight this early, like 2 or 3 weeks later, if it wasn't a major injury. It might have been something small, or maybe he just had the poops. Who knows? But give me Tafa to win. I'm gonna say by knockout, and I'm gonna say the first round, or at least first round and a half. So I like him to get it done. Main event: Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas. We got two strawweights fighting up at featherweight, flyweight. But Ribas is a well-rounded fighter, solid striking. She's got good volume. She pushes forward, good grappling. She uses more throws to get takedowns instead of like double legs and single legs, and she uses her judo to get the fight to the mat if she wants to. She can be a little hittable at times. She can get cracked. We've seen in a few of her fights lately, but she does have good cardio, and she is durable if she does get cracked. So she doesn't really just like get knocked out, but she gets up again, if you know what I mean. Rose, we all know who Rose is. Thug Rose, very good striker. She's got good grappling too. She's got a good rear naked choke. Wrestling is just okay, but she can get some takedowns if she wants to. She's durable, pretty good cardio. But here's the biggest red flag, and we all know it's going to be in her mindset. What mindset are we going to get? Which Rose are we going to get? How is she going to play, or how is she going to fight in this fight? Because the last fight she fought Manon Fiorot. Not to say that she looked bad, but Manon Fiorot's a beast, though, I will say. That was a very tough fight for her. This isn't more of a good fight for her, I would say. I got to go with Rose here, unfortunately. Not to say that I'm rooting against her, but I do like Amanda Ribas as a fighter, but I just think Rose is too technical on the feet. I don't think Amanda's going to be able to get the takedowns. And I will say, though, if Amanda does get some takedowns, I think she might have better grappling than Rose. So we'll see how this plays out. It's going to be a 5-rounder. I think that might favor Rose too. So give me Rose to win. I'm gonna say by decision, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's like a 4th or 5th round knockout. Maybe Ribas is a little gas. Maybe she takes a cumulative damage and just, I don't want to say gives up. Maybe just the ref kind of like stops it. One of those things. So give me Rose to win by decision. It's gonna be a good fight. Looking forward to that one. Out of all of these, let's be honest. Yeah, so that's all the 13 fights for UFC Vegas 89. Definitely appreciate everyone watching. Sorry for the late video again. Definitely check out my Patreon. Like I said earlier, I'm doing the NCAA bracket for the college basketball. You can join in, just become a free member on my Patreon, or you can become a core member. Core member, if you do win, you get a little bit of a boost in your prize. Yeah, Wednesday night, obviously defend your units. Friday night, obviously defend your units. We're gonna have that. It's gonna be on Cody's channel, Blood Money MMA Bets. Definitely check that out and hit the notifications, everybody. So good luck to everybody. Good luck with your picks. Good luck with your bets. Hopefully there's not going to be any crazy judging this time. No eye pokes. No crazy fighters not wanting to fight. All that good stuff. So let's hope for a good card. It's some good vibes going back again, because last week was terrible. Take care. See you then.